Hey everybody, it's Andy, aka Max Ryder. We're back. We're still at Desperation Point, and I'm going to start laying out fence posts while I continue the story that I started. Sorry, wall. About Esther, the 20th woman I ever kissed, and the woman that I was completely, utterly, and totally in love with. Now we're going to follow the, since for years, actually. Anyway, we're going to follow the lay of the land here for the moment. We're gonna have to push back a couple of these guys just so villagers can't stumble over, and we might pull out a couple of them like so to make it kind of nicer. But otherwise, we're gonna try to keep the ground itself, relatively the same. Having lots of lag issues, and I don't understand why, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So let's pull this entire thing back. So, where was I with Esther? I was talking about both of us, our spouses were leaving us, or had left us, and we were both kind of in the same boat as far as wanting the marriage to continue. Now, in my case, I wanted the marriage to continue because I was still in love with my wife, and I'm still trying to figure this out. I was still in love with my wife. That was the main reason. Esther's marriage had been in trouble for a while, and so, but she believed in the sanctity of marriage, blah, 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 and was trying to save it. She also had kids to save the marriage for, which it's really rough for kids. Hold on a sec. So, we were just going to be friends at the time, but I still had some intense feelings for her, which had not changed. Well, no, that's not true. At first it was just a friendship thing, and I was hoping to save, like I said, to save my marriage. But my wife was not, unfortunately for me. Though some of my friends would probably say, fortunately for me. I would have to disagree with them. Anyway, So, Esther and I became close friends. We were exchanging emails at first quite often around Christmas time. We started to, there was a time at Christmas that we called each other and talked, and sometime in early 2008 that turned into a regular thing, talking on the phone with each other. I think it was around February. She'd confessed to liking some guy who went to her church, and I got very upset at that and came to the realization that I had stronger feelings for her than I wanted to admit. By this time my divorce was in full swing, my marriage was over, which sucked, but I was also at a point where I didn't feel like there was anything I could do about it. When the marriage ended, or when the dissolution was actually done, I guess you could say, that was in actually March of 2008. My friend Scott took me out to eat that night because he didn't want me to be alone. Esther called. Esther called me on the phone. I actually had a cell phone by then, so yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, she called me on the cell phone when the dissolution was complete to see how I was doing. And I was pretty drunk by the time she called, thanks to Scott. Thank you, Scott. If you watch my videos, which you probably don't. It's going to be some steep hills. I forgot to turn on the timer. Son of a gun. So we will go for like 8 more minutes on this timer, because hopefully that'll get us in at under 10. Anyway, that's not going to work. actually, so that's too close. Okay, we're going to pull this in a little. It was really very sweet of her, and, you know, just the kind of thing that she would do. So, my marriage was over. There was no saving it at all. It just wasn't going to happen. This will have to be fixed later, probably. Darn it, I'm not sure I'm liking that. I mean, I'm giving myself a lot of room for this village. This is coming down an awful steep angle, and things are going to be able to get right over the fence here. Okay, we're going to expand a little. So, that June, I decided I was taking a trip to North Carolina. I was going to go and visit some friends, see some people I hadn't seen in a long time because I had not been down in North Carolina in some time, and just kind of try to forget everything that had happened. Now, the first part of the trip was going to visit Esther. At the time, she lived in Wake Forest, North Carolina. Okay, sound just stopped. There we go. So I went to visit her first. Ugh, I hate that. Now this hill's going to be a problem. I'm trying to figure this hill out right here. Whether I should go over the top of it or try to encapsulate it. And I think it's too big to encapsulate easily. So what I might do is build up this hill a little bit on one side and then run the wall. Anyway, give me a minute, let me figure this out. Okay, I still haven't figured out what to do about that hill. So I'm throwing down some torches and I'm going to finish up the story. I have roughly 4 minutes left on this video. Anyway, I went down and visited her where she lived. I took some presents, including some beer from Seattle that she really liked. Blue Heron, I believe is what it was called. And we hung out with some friends and had a really good time. And then I hit up some other people the rest of that. Then during the week, I went and visited with some other people. Got to see some people I hadn't seen in years. My friend Brad in Fayetteville, my friend Ron in Charlotte. Overall, it was a good time. It was good for me. I needed it. And then at the end of on the second weekend, Esther came up to my folks' house where I'm living now in Sugar Grove and visited up here. And wow, while she was here, I had confessed that I had feelings for her when I was visiting her in Wake Forest, and I didn't push it because she wasn't even technically divorced yet. Let's do this. Okay. I think we're just going to run this up here for the moment, just to keep villagers from wandering off. Oops. This is pretty steep. I could make this steeper, though. Anyway, let me finish my story first. She came up. During that weekend, her divorce was technically final. I believe it was Friday night. Well, I'm going to have to look it up. Hold on. Wrong button. I'm back. I'm in a different place than I left because I got kicked. Fun. Anyway, so I guess she came up on a Thursday because we took a walk up to the top of the mountain. It was very romantic. Nothing happened. We held hands. That was really nice. And on the way back, we stopped in the neighbor's front yard, and we just lay in the yard and looked at the stars and acted silly and had some really good conversation. It was also it was the next day that her divorce would be final. And that next day, that evening after a cookout, we once again, how am I going to get this up this hill? Okay, let's do this. Yeah, we're doing some terraforming. I hate it. It's got to go back probably one more. Probably going to replace some of these, but... So we walked up again. Time for more terraforming. We walked up again Friday night, Friday the 13th, June 13th, 2008. And we walked up to the top again, and this time we kissed. It was very romantic. Now, right after we kissed, she pulled away from me, and she stopped, and she just stood there, thinking, deep in thought. Esther tends to think really hard about stuff. She worries that what she's doing at the moment is the right thing or the wrong thing, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. We're going to push this back, much as I hate to do it. Okay. Far enough that I can get a fence line in here. Somehow. I'd kind of like to just go ahead and encompass this entire hill, I'm thinking. So let's see how this is going to work. Anyway, sorry, got distracted, and I'm probably going to be running long if I don't hurry the story up. Yeah, I am. This is too close. We decided we would pursue a relationship. And for me, that was just amazing. And we continued to see each other for some time. I put my house up for sale. I started looking for work in North Carolina. When I lost my job at the newspaper, it wasn't devastating like it would have been if I had been planning on staying in Ohio. Instead, it just was what it... And that's not acceptable either. Let's pull this back. Okay, there. Hoping that's not too close. Anyway, ended up moving to North Carolina for her. I thought things were going really well. I was mistaken. And although I started kind of getting the feel like something was wrong at one point. In September of 2009, roughly a year and a quarter later, and that's when she dumped me, broke up with me, would not tell me why, broke my heart. It was just kind of, it was awful. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole story. And we finished the story. We finished this wall, this initial wall that might get changed up a little bit. And a little bit of terraforming that I hate doing. Right now there's no gates or fences. That's going to be the next thing. But there you have it, folks. That's Esther. That was the woman of my dreams that I finally got together with for 15 short months. I loved her dearly. Wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. Was ready to marry her. Thought she felt the same. She didn't. I'll never forget her. And I'm glad I had the time I had with her, but I wish... I miss her. I miss her a lot. That's it. I will talk to y'all next time.